Hey guys, what's up? ItZMuRdA here. I literally just walked in the door, got home from work. I absolutely hate working on patch days, but nonetheless, it's what you do as you grow up. So we're here with the usual Game Update 9 patch note overview. I'll try to be pretty quick. The patch is live. It has been for quite a few hours. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it. I'm going to hop into it in the near future and do some streaming tonight for sure. But first, let's take a look at this. Probably my most anticipated patch so far, at least of the ones that I can remember off the top of my head. I've been pretty excited about this one, so let's get into it. The lattice system on Indar, whatever you want to call it, battle flow, rush lanes, etc., etc. That's the big hit of the patch. It's honestly not my favorite feature, but it's nothing that I'm unhappy about or anything like that. There were just things that I was looking forward to even more than that, which I'll get into. But I'm not going to go into every possible thing that they did with Indar, but Indar is largely changed. A lot of the outposts, a lot of the bases improved in every possible way. The whole connection of the lattice system to work a lot more like PlanetSide 1 with certain links to bases to have less backcapping and more focused fights in certain areas. It should be a lot more fun. It should provide smaller squads and stuff like that, things that they can do that are a bit more useful than they had before. Get in there, see how you like it, especially if you haven't played with it on test yet, but it's going to be totally different on a live server anyway, so let me know what you guys think about it. We're going to see it roll out to ItZMuRdA. I think it's on the roadmap for June and Amurish in July. That might change, obviously, but I believe that's what's up there at the moment. And then it'll come out with Hasen as well in the next couple of months when that's released also. So a lot of fun there, great change. I think a lot of people have been looking forward to this since the beginning. So at the very bottom of this, you'll see the SCU shield functionality changes. This is one of the most, anticipated things in my opinion. I made a video on this a bit back. A lot of people shared some similar concerns. They went ahead and made some changes. This is kind of what they came up with and finished with. I know they had a few different facility cap timers on the beta. I'm not sure what they actually went live with. I haven't played yet, so we'll see about that if the timers have changed. But regardless, no more SCU shield generator. That's the first generator that takes down the shields to the SCU before you can actually access and compromise the SCU. And instead, those shields will go down when the base is 3/4 of the way captured, which is great. It's not going to be people just rushing in and within 2 minutes can't spawn there anymore before defenders even had time to react, and just ruining fights so early on, and then just the attackers would just sit there for 8 minutes, and the defenders that were already there that hadn't died yet would sit in the spawn room and try to spawn camp and counter spawn camp, and it was just kind of very uncompelling, unenjoyable mess. At one point they were talking about removing the spawn shields, I believe, as well, so that you couldn't counter spawn camp after the SC went down. I'm not sure if that still made it live, but regardless, even this change alone I think is great for the progression of base fights and them actually being more meaningful and more defensible and things like that. I'm really, really happy about that, and I'd like to see how it actually turns out on live. The tutorial's another pretty big one. I was going to actually do a tutorial video, but I guess the time got away from me, and Hama ended up making one on PlanetSide Universe, and he did a really good job with it. He shared a lot of the feedback that I had for it. Malorn did a preview on last week's Friday Night Ops of pretty much all the same stuff as well, and he was very thorough about it. And I didn't really see a need to do my own video of the same thing in the end, I guess, and you guys are all now able to try it out by either making a new character and electing to not skip the tutorial, or going and hitting escape, going in the bottom left of your screen, hitting that support button and clicking go to tutorial. And you can check it out. It has a lot of really cool stuff. I think it's super, super, super important, and I wish it was in at launch of the game because it would have kept a lot of people playing, I think, that got frustrated early on. But it's the beginning stages of the tutorial. Obviously, there's much more that they can get into, more complex things later on, but I really think it's quite a good thing that it's in the game now, and hopefully that will help out, keep people interested in the game who are new to the game, new to PlanetSide, new to first-person shooters, new to MMOs, whatever it might be. That's pretty cool, and I'm pretty happy to see that. Instant action improvements, that's cool. Hopefully, one of the reasons why I pretty much stopped using instant action and would either just redeploy or spawn on a spawn beacon or squad deploy is because it would take me off a continent that I was on that I didn't want to be taken off of. So that's pretty cool. They also added, later on you'll see, a home bind you can hit the home key by default on your keyboard, and it will start an instant action timer, much like you can hit the delete key to redeploy and not have to actually sit on the map. A lot of people don't know that. Not only that, the home key will actually tell you where the instant action is going to take you, so you can cancel it if you don't like the outcome. So I think that's really cool. And then this ADS sensitivity slider, the biggest thing that I would look forward to, or was looking forward to in this patch. I made a whole video about this recently that got a lot of great reviews and things like that. So I'm pretty excited about that. You can check out that other video for all the reasons why. That would be a whole video in and of itself, and it was, if I was going to talk about it now. But make sure, if you at least want what you want your sensitivity to feel like before the patch, you change that value back to what your mouse sensitivity value is. And honestly, I'd move it up one notch. So like my mouse sensitivity is 0.10, my ADS sensitivity is 0.11. It's not going to be the same ratio for everybody, but that helps get that 50% ADS to hipfire sensitivity ratio that we're all used to from other games like Battlefield and things like that. So check out that video if you're interested, but I really think this is a great change. It's probably just snuck in there. A lot of people didn't take it too seriously, but likely my favorite change of the entire patch. So that's pretty cool. The Helios and Connery servers, the US West servers, are merged. They were medium pop beforehand. I think they were like the 5th and 6th highest popped, or 4th and 5th highest popped. They had about 10,000 people according to PlanetSide Universe. I don't know what that tracks for activity or a certain level battle rank or anything like that. I'm not sure what the criteria is, but they had about 10,000 each compared to Watterson and Matherson's about 17,000 each. So now they'll have a little bit more. That'd probably be the Connery's going to just be the new server name. Helios got merged into Connery, and it'll probably be the most populated server, but pretty cool for all of those guys. I know there's some concern with NC population, but I don't really play there that much, so I can't comment specifically, but hopefully that works out great for all of them. And the thing that I like about that is that means that server transfers will be coming in the near future. Both Matt Higbee and Adam Clegg had said that when we see this happen, server transfers in the depot for us to choose what server to transfer to and pay station cash for it will likely follow suit in the near future, hopefully in Game Update 10, but either way in the next couple weeks or month. So I'm interested in seeing that. I know a lot of people have wanted that for a while. I still plan to play on Matherson, but nonetheless, it's certainly a desired feature. So let's go through the rest of this, hopefully a little bit faster. This is going kind of slow, but I really like this patch, so I apologize about that. So there's some new stuff in the depot. We've got the Empire-specific weapons for the Harasser that were originally in public test but got pulled, and we didn't know if they were going to come back with Empire-specific buggies or not, but nonetheless they are available. The things that you're used to for your MBTs you can now get on your Harassers, obviously depending on what Empire you play. And there's been a lot of changes to them as well, which we'll talk about in a little bit. There's some other things in here. I'm not going to go through too much, Luma fiber for MBTs. This one's a pretty significant just one-liner that you don't really realize the impact of. Some people have started to make lists on PlanetSide Universe and Reddit and things like that with all of the weapons that are actually affected. I'm going to check that out, maybe add some of my own to that or make my own list because I love doing spreadsheets for things like that. But basically, a lot of the underutilized, underused, and old versions of things, like the original AV Max weapons, now that we have the new AV Max weapons, is a good example, had their prices lowered. Most of them in certs, and some of them in station cash cost as well, so check that out. Some things are, that used to be 700 station cash or 1,000 certs are now 250 certs and 500 station cash, or the other way around. But look into that. There's some still decent weapons just because they're the older versions of them or underutilized versions of them that are worth picking up probably. So there's also going to be, new sales coming up, I believe, Saturday through Monday, the 25th to the 27th, where there's new decals. There's like start of summer theme, some bikini girls decals and crap like that. I believe some new helmets, some like Hawaiian shirt camo type of stuff and things like that, so be on the lookout for that. And then we've got the max abilities that were going to go in with Game Update 9 but did not. The famous Zealot Overdrive, the ZOE, the Zoe Max, that was pretty bugged and pretty powerful in beta, The mixed feelings on all of this stuff really so far. I haven't used the live versions of them. I thought ZOE was very good in beta. I thought the Aegis Shield was very, very situational and something I'd almost never use for how I play, but people could make use of it. And then Lockdown was also very situational, amazing with a burster in the right situation, but it also made you bait for rockets and things like that. But check those out. I know a lot of people have been looking forward to them. I'm not much of a max person, so I'm not sure what I'll buy, if anything, of those things. I really like the charge ability for how I usually use maxes, but we'll see. Let me know what you guys think. Buff Spot EXP, they like doubled it in both of these areas. No complaints there, right? That's good news. And you see here we've got a couple changes to concussion grenades and flash grenades that I think are pretty good. They will check line of sight, which I always thought was an issue before, and they'll do less or more of their effect based on how far away you are from their impact point and how exposed you are via line of sight. So that's really cool. Reduction on the duration of concussion, I thought that was an issue, and again it will scale based on how far away you are. Same with flash, making it a little bit more powerful if you're closer to the impact point, with a reduced duration overall that scales as well. This is something interesting that I didn't know was coming. A reload threshold for infantry weapons. So if you get to a certain point in your reload and then you want to switch because you need to heal or you need to pull out a pistol or whatever, the reload will still count. I'm not sure the exact threshold. I do want to test that out. In some situations, like in Battlefield, for instance, with rockets and stuff like that, you can switch to your pistol and switch back and actually have a faster reload than if you just waited for the reload to complete. I doubt that SOE was going to do that. I'm pretty sure they would have thoroughly tested this out to make sure that that's not the case, but there might be a few areas where it is and worth looking into. The default medic revive, huge buff there, which is quality of life for everybody else getting rezzed and not knowing what rank res they're getting rezzed by, so that's pretty cool, so you don't just die immediately when you come back from it. The rest of this, mostly minor bug fixes. I know there was some HV ammo fiascos lately that got fixed, and things like that. I don't think anything else too much is too big of a deal here. We saw the spawn beacon timer bug quite often when we were playing, and that's nice to see that that's fixed. But read through the rest of these yourself if you were looking for anything in particular. And then here we see the vehicle updates. So I'm not going to read everything. You can check this out if you're interested. There's a ton of mixed feedback on, oh my god, Saron's terrible now, Enforcer's really good, this is bad, that's great. I haven't tried it out myself. I don't know what to think, but the Empire-specific weapons have got quite a bit of adjustments, like the Enforcer clip size increased from 1 to 10. I believe the Saron went from 1 to 6. So that alone is a big change in how it functions and how it feels. Previously this felt too close to a halberd in my opinion, so hopefully it'll feel a little bit more Enforcer-ish now. Same with the change to the shotgun, mag size 3 to 5, with some damage reduction and things like that. And magazine size cert, which is always nice for things like shotguns. So check these out. Let us know what you think. There's quite a bit of changes to them actually, so some good, some bad, I guess. We'll see. The TR weapons didn't actually get any changes other than cosmetically, and they have been adjusted to quote-unquote look more TR, which they do. If you've seen pictures of them, they look pretty good. Same with the NC ones, I believe, were adjusted to look more NC as well, and they have been. You can't get your harassers indoors in buildings anymore, sorry guys. I like this. Did some tuning on the flash to make it handle better, like the harasser. I was using the flash in PlanetSide 1 yesterday, and I was like, oh man, I'm just going full speed across the hills of Solsar, like no troubles with flipping over or any ridiculous stuff. So I realized PlanetSide 1 vehicle physics is way different, but I'm glad to see this because the flash handles a bit poorly in the past, so hopefully that helps. Some wobbling fixes, things like that. People in the rumble seat not getting shot. That's good. That was a big complaint. A lot of people just didn't use the rumble seat unless they were, one of the driver or the gunner was repairing in it. A lot of UI updates. This is the instant action hotkey that I spoke to you guys about earlier. Map polishing, removing a lot of things to go along with the new battle flow improvements, things like that. I'm not going to read through all of these. Nothing's like, oh my god, super major, but they're pretty cool. Worth checking out on your own time. a lot of it will be self-explanatory, I think, when you open up the map as well. They actually added ultra graphic settings attainable through the normal settings rather than having to edit the user INI, so that's pretty cool for people who want to play on ultra easily. You can also set waypoints via the mini-map by just right-clicking on it rather than having to go to your main map. So that's pretty cool as well. And hey, if you want to go back to the warp gate, you can do so without any cooldown, so that's kind of nice. If you want to pull a vehicle or something like that, switch continents, whatever. And this is the rest of it to wrap it up. Just, again, some more bug fixes for the depot and suppressors and minimap stuff and things like that, typos, etc., etc. Generator timers. I guess they moved the warp gate term in VR to be more in your face if you wanted to get back out of there. Warp gates on Indar are rotated, I'm assuming, in addition to the rotation that we just saw in Game Update 9 for the battle flow improvements, but I haven't actually seen the live map yet. And bug fixes on generators. They call it a bug fix. I guess it is. I didn't think that it was, but you have to have the proper territory adjacency to overload the gens. And more bridge rendering, not trolling aircraft into invisible bridges and letting them die. And then I remember seeing this actually in quite a few videos as well. Maybe that's where they realized it most. If you go out of that southeast, I guess it is, Alatum jump pad, slam right into a tree on your way there. So that's a good fix. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm really excited to play. Again, I got to work early tomorrow and a little bit late even, so it sucks. Another long day at work tomorrow, but I've got a bonus extra long weekend, so I'll be really interested in checking all of that out then. But I'll be streaming tonight in probably about a half hour or so as well, and then streaming again tomorrow night and throughout the weekend. I hope. I'm betting that there's a double EXP weekend for Memorial Day weekend, but that's not really anything other than just my own personal opinion and hoping that I'm right in that. So we haven't had one in a while. It'd be great to see it then. And anyway, this is way too long, but great patch. Check it out. Let me know what you guys think. What do you like? What don't you like? What didn't you see that you were hoping for? And what are you really happy that made it into the patch? So again, what about suggestions for Game Update 10 that's going to be focused on quality of life and bug fixes? I think that's going to be a pretty cool patch that'll nail out a lot of things that people have had concerns on for quite some time. So give me some comments, give me some feedback. Check out the stream tonight or all throughout this weekend over at ItZMuRdA.com or twitch.tv/ItZMuRdA_TV. And you guys have a good one. I will see you soon.